Good morning and hello everyone. Today we have an awesome, amazing superwoman with us, Arpita Chatterjee, and she has a very interesting question. So over to you, Arpita. Can you just introduce yourself in a bit and ask me whatever you want to ask today?
Sure, Ritu. Thank you so much for giving me this opportunity. My name is Arpita Chatterjee. I'm currently working as a business head in overseas education consultant, and I'm taking coaching also from Ritu Agarwal. So I have a question, Ritu. My first question is, what is emotional intelligence?
What is emotional intelligence? Okay. So this is a very deep topic. In fact, we can go hours talking upon this subject, Arpita, because if I would break this word, emotional intelligence, so it has two words in it, emotion and intelligence, right? And emotion is energy in motion. So we are all energy beings, and somewhere our energy is perpetually into some kind of movement. Okay, so if we break the word emotion, energy in motion, and intelligence, like we all know, it's the ability to use our knowledge and skill into something, right? Now, how do we, in fact, if you add together these two, how do we actually use our energy, which is in movement all the time, in such an intelligent way that we can actually manage our relationships, be very authentic, take authentic decisions, do anything and everything in our life, right? So that is, if you have a higher EQ, you can manage that. If you have a lower EQ, you'll need to work upon it again. So emotions is something, often emotions are like, bachpan se hi hum log bolte hain ki, when a kid is crying and we tell him, mat ro, especially with boys, that Rona, does any boy cry? And that then, the child is expressing their emotions and we shut them off, saying that you're not allowed to do that. And that is why it gets a little, you're not being authentic, then you're not true to your own feelings, and it can become really a big problem later on. So basically I can say, like, emotion, according to me, is like water. I can compare emotion to water. Like, water is free flowing, okay, but think of it, if water is coming and it's flowing freely and it is not channelized and completely ekdam, like baad aa gaya, flood aa gaya completely, and it's flowing and yahan wahan everywhere it's going, so what is going to happen to the world? It's going to go haywire, right? It needs to be channelized properly. Water needs to be handled properly. And if the water is again passing through a dam, and we construct a dam and we channelize the water properly, and it can even produce electricity, and it is lighting up homes for so many people, and it can be used constructively, right? So in the same way, I feel it's to do with our emotions. There is nothing good or bad in emotions, because emotion is an energy by itself, right? And now how do we channelize this energy? That will define our, in fact, if we can do it intelligently, then the game is ours. We can live a very happy, fulfilling, authentic life. And if we cannot do that, if we manage to fail to do that, things can go really wrong. Somewhere we'll not get the results which we really desire for ourselves.
Very, very true, Ritu. I absolutely agree with this. And generally, what you have said is absolutely correct. But how you have to channelize your emotions, like how we can control our remote control with us, like every time we're feeling very emotional by if someone said something wrong or something like that. So how you channelize?
It's again, I would say this is a very, very important question, because in today's world, I would say it is a much required question which everybody should know. And thank you so much for asking me this, Arpita, because again, like I said, if we know how to handle our emotions well, everything and anything can be under our control, right? We can respond freely and openly to things. And that is our ultimate purpose, what I would say, and even what Sadhguru has said, that once we start responding to things openly and freely, then our life can become magic. And this can happen only if we can channelize our emotions very well. So there are a lot of steps, I would say, if you want to really practice how to control our emotions. We need to understand everything is science. Okay, it's not a magic. Of course, I mean, if you practice it, it seems like a magic, but actually there's a science which is going on behind it. Our brain is complicated. There are a lot of different hemispheres, and we have these different lobes and frontal lobes and our reticular activating system, and we have our what do you say, reptilian brain, which was evolved many years ago. But apparently now something is there in our frontal lobe, and which has, and what is the purpose of this frontal lobe? It's like it has the ability to think, right? For first step, what I would recommend, if you really want to manage your emotions, is to take a pause. Take a pause and think about your feelings. It's like your feelings and your thinking needs to be congruent. It needs to become a state of being, right? So anything, if you're allowed to feel whatever you want to feel. If somebody is behaving badly with you, of course you're allowed to feel bad. I will not say that you're not, always good, pretending to be good. And then what do we do in return? We are repressing our emotions, and that can be really dangerous for that matter. So you're allowed to feel that, but at the same time, before responding, before reacting, take a pause, think about it. Why is this coming to me? How am I willing to respond to this situation? What can I do different in this situation, so that things can be mutual and not like me reacting over things, or I would say just taking it too personally. Okay, so we need to control our feelings. Feelings can be controlled, and that can happen only once you practice taking a pause from moment to moment. Okay, so this is one thing. The second thing which I can say is, be very authentic to who you are. So if you're not feeling good about something, you're allowed to express. But again, when you express something, you cannot blame other people, because they are doing the best they can. They feel happy doing that, right? Nobody wants to feel bad. So if somebody is shouting on you, it's obviously, or misbehaving with you for that matter, they are doing what they like doing. They are doing the best they can. They are doing what they know they want to do, what they can do, right? So in the process, when you know that they are doing the best they can, and still if you want to draw your boundaries, or if you want to say something, you can always express it in the I emotion, and not really blaming, not really complaining, but saying, that something like, for a little example, if I would just say, like, I'm feeling really maybe confused because I'm not doing anything, and still, what can I do? How can I help you better? What can I do so that you can actually trust me? What can I do so that maybe things can change? Anything we can do mutually so that our relationship improves. So that it is the communication which is important, taking ownership. Now I would say, if you really want to be successful when it comes to your emotion handling, take 100% responsibility. This emotion has come to me. Okay, the emotion is where does this emotion lies? It's inside you, right? So it's yours. It's to do with you. Now if something is to do with me, I only need to handle it, right? It's not if I react. And do you feel ever good? I don't think anybody feels good shouting and screaming. In fact, you have all kinds of physical diseases, like the blood pressure shooting up, and you feeling miserable, and you crying, and you howling, and you say that my life is miserable, and all such things starts happening. This is something which we need to control. I would say that control your feelings by taking a pause, and then be very authentic with your own feelings. Whatever you feel, you are allowed to express, but express in a manner that you're not directing it towards somebody else, but you are only expressing what you are feeling, right? And you're allowed to do that. Again, start giving more appreciation to people. If you really want your emotions to go up, go up in the sense, become very, you want to become happy in life, I would say, happiness in emotions. So then for that matter, I would say start giving appreciation to people for little things. Don't hold back, be open to feedbacks, give authentic feedbacks to people in a way that they understand that it's authentic, and that is, you can do it. And even just not that, you be open to feedbacks also. If somebody is telling you something, that person must be okay. Now, once you take a feedback, that this person is telling because he must be angry, or is it genuine? And if you're getting a same feedback from everyone, then it's something in you which you need to attract, which you need to change, right? Because you are only attracting that in your life. But if it is to do with, if only one person and that same person is nagging you, maybe, that person has some personal issues or something in their life. And we do it all the time. We are displacing our anger on somebody, on the weaker. I mean, for as mothers, we displace it on our child, right? I mean, my mother-in-law shouting on me and I will put it on my son. This is not right. Or maybe in my staff who's working with me. And that is how this world is operating. So you need to understand at that point of time, is it genuine? And I would say if you can start developing that empathy. Empathy is like, how does empathy come? When you listen to somebody, when you listen exactly what they are saying, listen exactly what is the feeling behind it, what is going on under the surface. So when you listen and when you can step into their shoes, I would say, and feel what they are feeling, then probably all the judgments will go away any which ways. Because there is sometimes when you know that you don't know what's happening in their lives also, right? So start maybe, listening properly. And when you listen, the other person is feeling heard, automatically the other person will not come back with their emotions, with their negative, I would say the rude emotions for that matter, right? So you can listen, you can help others, you can forgive people, because once again, if you really want to have full responsibility and control over your emotions, you need to know that, again, if you are holding on to things, it's nothing to do with them, it's to do with you, because ultimately maybe that person is not even thinking about you, but it's you who's harming your own self, your own mind, your relationship in your near and dear ones is getting spoiled. You are unable to take good decisions in your life. So who's the victim over here, right? So if we can actually understand all these aspects, once again, I would say also protect yourself from emotional sabotage. What is this emotional sabotage? Other people will blackmail you. They might just say, that, oh, she's like this, please do this for me and all. And then you end up saying a yes, yes, yes for everything. And then you come back and you cry and you crib and you feel like a victim, total victim. So eventually you can change that by drawing your boundaries and by knowing what can you do? Keep up your agreements. If I know today I can deliver something, I will do that. If I can't do that, I will tell you, Arpita, I cannot do it. It's beyond my capacity, right? So or when you keep up your agreement, it's like your soul gets charged up, because your integrity is in place. And all these aspects, I would say, combined can actually help you grow your emotional intelligence over a period of time. But you need to practice. It doesn't come overnight. And this is something which we need to work on. And each and every person needs to acknowledge their emotions. You have to acknowledge your emotions. If you're feeling sad, yes, I'm feeling sad. When you take a pause, it's not like pause and just know I'm not allowed to feel sad. I'm feeling sad. Why am I feeling sad? Where is it coming from? What is the underlying surface which is erupting right now? What is the reason? Is it like something which to do with my past? Again, repetitively, this emotion I'm feeling in my life. Then why? Well, how can I change it? What can I do? What is it trying to tell me? What is it trying to teach me? So if you can ask these questions to yourself, I personally feel it can be a life-changing game. Yeah.
It's very, very inspiring, Ritu. It's really true. And actually, it's true. Like, practice makes a man perfect. So we have to practice, pause and all. That's really awesome.
Yes.
I have one more question for you. That how do you test someone's emotional intelligence? Like if you want to test someone's emotional intelligence.
There are honestly various assessments to it. So if you want to do it, properly, you can have EQ. There are many, many EQ tests which you can do, which is available online nowadays. But again, I personally feel it's not required because we all know it. So now, Arpita, for example, you know how you feel, you know how you think, right? And if you feel that you're not feeling that empathy towards the other person, or you get easily charged up with anybody saying anything to you and you're totally reacting all the time. See, emotional intelligence, like I broke up this word, intelligence means what? Ability to apply, ability to use the skill, to use the knowledge, to use our emotions in a productive manner, right? If you know that you're being able to do it, if you are knowing that yes, I'm open to getting feedbacks, I speak authentically, I'm always committed, I always keep up my agreements, and I'm always, whatever person tells me something, I analyze it more before immediately reacting to things. If you know, all these things are a benchmark, I would say they are all testers for you. So if you know, like, what are you supposed to do, if you're so somebody telling me something initially, maybe I'll feel bad for a moment, but I will not react. See, we all are humans and we do feel bad. It's not like, I'm not saying that somebody saying something out of the blue and it doesn't make sense to me, I will feel bad. For that matter, sometimes even when somebody is giving me a feedback, I might feel bad, that, oh, I did my best and still this is coming up. But it's like something when you can process that emotions. Like I said, like water. Think about that water example once again, which I said in the beginning. It needs to be processed. Otherwise, if it is free flowing, oh, I am, she told me bad, maybe I'll never be able to do it. I will never be able to become a good coach. I will never be able to, perform good or something. If somebody tells me that, and if I start throwing up all these things in my life, then it's like, I know that my emotional intelligence is pretty low at that point of time, right? But if I can sit down, pause, okay, I'm like this, but now what can I do? I have been like this, maybe because I'm new to this, I'm new to this subject or whatever, but I am going to learn, I am going to grow. Whom can I ask for help? Whom can I be very authentic to my own self? So if you can do that, that means you're moving towards the right direction and your EQ is coming up. So it's like a process, it's like a journey. I would not say one thing is enough. You need to do whatever serves you, and every individual is different for that matter. Emotions, there are many, many kinds of emotions, and you should not confuse between one emotion. So sometimes क्या होता है, हम लोग sad होते हैं. I am sad, but I am showing my anger at that point of time. Okay, you might say that little bit connection is there. But if you are sad, instead of showing your anger, can you feel that sadness in your body once? And if you and ask it that why is this sadness coming to you? What is it trying to teach you? Instead of just getting into that, second episode and just, reacting and, I'm sad and that's why I'm going to just displace my anger on everybody and anybody for that matter, right? So ये हम लोग को check करना पड़ता है. We have to check. If I am angry at somebody, I'm allowed to express my anger, but it has to be anger. It cannot be like I start crying and howling and I'm angry, that way. So if we know exactly, to express our emotions, what the emotion which we are truly feeling. Most people don't even know what happiness is. Happiness is like, okay, dance. I mean, it's fleeting. It's so fleeting. एक कोई कुछ बोल दिया खुश हो गए, फिर कोई कुछ वही कुछ और बोल दिया, you become sad. So you're not feeling the emotion only from within yourself. So it's very, very important to feel that emotion, to get connected with who you are as a person, by being connected to your values. I know that if my values is XYZ, I am authentic, I am honest, I am sensitive, I am, free or whatever. These are my basic values. My value is my family. And now if I know that these are my values and I'm living my life based on my values, then your EQ will go up, definitely, right? But if we go haywire, if we are living what other people is expecting out of us, then anyways, it's going to be a bad story. Yeah.
True. What I understood from this is that we have to forgive and forget, right? We don't hold the grudges. Generally, because of this emotional baggage, maybe we could not able to express or feel our emotions, right?
Yes, and emotional, I would say emotional baggage to would usko deal karna hi hai, but right now also presently a lot of emotions comes up, right? To do with new people, new situation, or maybe to do with the past also. But when I would say, instead of focusing too much on leaving your past baggage, what is it? Be connected to your dream, to your vision and just work accordingly. Any emotions coming up, I would say move forward in life. Don't look back too much. Now, people say you have to heal the past, but it will happen automatically. Once you know that this is an emotion which is coming up, and then where is the root cause of this emotion, and then you go back to that emotion, right? So you're healing your past in your journey, but the process should be always moving forward. It should not be, no, when I heal that, then only I'll move forward. It should never be like that.
Yeah, so we have to live in present, not like past or future, right?
If you can do that, it's the best, Arpita, to be very honest. Living in the present is the ultimate, when we are connected to who we are. So, self-awareness, I would say there are 4 steps. If I combine the entire emotional intelligence into a story, I would say there are 4 things which is very important. Number 1 is self-awareness, where you know who you are, just not who you are, your values and your personality, and for that matter, who you are as a person. What do you feel? And is it like you're authentic yourself, or are you just pretending? Okay, so once you know who you are, it's very, very important. Next is and you need to become aware of what you're talking, what you're feeling, constantly monitor. Don't just go with the flow when it comes to like, okay, theek hai na, jo hai. Nahin, you have to be aware if you really want to change things. Next is your self-management. You need to, after becoming aware, you need to manage your emotions by taking long pauses. That is a brilliant step, I would say one tool which I can say is just take a pause at that moment. The right wisdom will come, because the work of our frontal lobe is that, to give you the right, take you to the right direction, basically. But we don't even use that. We are just operating from our fight or the flight response. Ki ya fir bhago ya fir maro, it's like that. So we need to change that completely. Okay, so take a pause. And the third is empathy. Start practicing empathy. Empathy comes with practice. When somebody is coming to you with any problem, listen, show interest, that way. Give help, offer a, just one line of appreciation, probably. If you can do that, give feedback, a constructive feedback when required. So when you are operating with empathy, and then when the 4th step, I would say, is combination of all 3. That is applying all these 3s into your social skills, right? Into managing your relationships, your work, everything together. So if you can do that, it's the sum of the entire emotional intelligence, I would say. And you can be emotionally intelligent enough to handle your own emotions. Yeah.
Very, very true. And actually, it's controlling emotion is the most difficult job also, as well as it's easy also, provided you are practicing. Like,
yes, it's just a mindset. I used to feel long time back it's very difficult, but once I got the hang of it, and once I've started practicing it, nothing affects me for more than 5 minutes. Nothing at all. Right. Yeah. So it's just with practice. And once you know the repercussions, once you know how much it is needed in today's world, if you have a vision in front of you, if you're connected with your dream, then everything and anything is possible. But if you don't have a dream and you're like, okay, karna hai, karenge, kab karenge, pata nahi, then things can go haywire. Okay?
True.
Yeah.
See, you already given a lot of good tips, and you have given very deep insight about the topic. It's a very sensitive topic, emotional intelligence. But still, I believe that if you can give more, some more tips, so that the people who are, working on their emotions, that what exactly the action point should be, like what action need to be done, like to get this.
I would say, if to sum it up, or maybe I would say, if you really want one tip from me, which I've already spoken about, but I would say that this can change everything, is for a moment, for a few days, only for probably, I would say, next 30 days or something, just behave as if you are responsible for everything in your life. You are responsible for any emotional thing coming in your life, and I take responsibility of it. So if something is like, if you are feeling sad, probably your emotion is stored. Where is this emotion stored? It's stored in our soul, right? And if it's a soul journey, right? And the soul has a lot of sadness stored already, probably, right? So it's not, we have to understand one thing, that if I am sad today, okay, it's an XYZ people are making me sad today, right? The XYZ people has nothing to do with my sadness. It's like I am sad, and my soul is like, reflecting the outside world from the outside, in the sense that I am sad, and now this sadness, I need to feel this sadness because my soul is sad, right? The emotion stored in my soul is sad. So if I have to feel this sadness, obviously there has to be some external people or things or situations that will make me feel sad, right? Otherwise, how will my soul know? How will I know that this is my soul journey to overcome this emotion? Right? So if we can take it personally, if instead of blaming, complaining and thinking about kids, XYZ person is responsible for my sadness, it's like, okay, I need to this is my emotion and I need to control it, come what may. Control it in the sense, not control it, but manage it efficiently. I need to evolve over it, because my purpose of life is to now master this emotion of mine, right? So now this is something, if we can recognize, then probably the game is ours. Nobody can stop us from winning the game, because it's like I take my responsibility. The power comes back to my hand. I'm not giving my remote control to anybody, for that matter, right? So I am responsible for my life and my situation. And I now, in fact, these other people are probably my soulmates, who's trying to make me recognize, what is this that I need to do with my soul on my soul journey. It is only a shift of perception, nothing else.
Yes, Ritu, it was great. And, it's so beautifully you have explained about the sensitive topic, emotional intelligence. I have learned a lot. And I'm sure that those who are watching this video, they must have learned a lot from you. And no doubt you are the super coach. And I'm still doing coaching. And I'm sure someday I'll become also like you. So thank you so much from bottom of my heart. Thank you.
Thank you, dear. Thank you so much. Thank you for joining me today, Arpita. Thank you.
Bye. Take care.